Mr. Trucker! Mr. Trucker!
Mrs. Kennedy, what changes, if any, have you made in the White House since you moved in?
I really haven't made many, Mr. Van Oker, because one can't. It doesn't belong to anyone but to everyone in this country.
Yes, but you live here. You certainly have a part of the White House. Doesn't the first family have a right to make some changes in the White House?
Well, yes, one can make one's private bedrooms as one wishes. Everything else is under the approval of the Fine Arts Committee, which I think is marvelous. And we do gradual things here and there. More to come, but not very much so far.
What do you think has to be done to the White House?
The thing I care about most is to make it more of a museum with more pieces of beautiful furniture that belong to old presidents. There's very little antique furniture here now, and most of what is dates from 1902.
Why isn't there more antique furniture? I would have thought that they've been collecting this since the beginning of this republic.
The thing is, Thomas Jefferson did the most wonderful thing of putting in beautiful furniture, and the sad thing was the War of 1812, when everything was burned. Then they had to start piecemeal since then, and every president who came could sell what he didn't like, what was there, and they used to have auctions in Lafayette Square. And then every president changed the decor if he wanted. Once President Grant had the blue room violet, and Chester Arthur had it robin's egg blue. And finally that was all stopped at the time of Theodore Roosevelt, 1902. So now one can't change it anymore.
Well, if I may say so without disrespect, every time I've been in the White House, it's always seemed to be a rather cold and austere place. Have you found it so?
Well, I remember the first time I came here.
Who are you? Folks call me Frog.
Oh, what's your real name?
Frog. That's why folks call me that.
Wild feeling that. I was 11 years old, and my mother brought me here on Easter vacation. And I felt very much what you say. So I do try to make it warmer now when I think of all the school children who come through here. I think there should be flowers when there can be, and fires going, and the pictures, and to make it look rather like a home and not so frightening.
But now, the school children who come through the White House, what do you think they take away with them beyond the fact that they can say back home, I was there? Do they know what they've seen?
No, and I think they should. The first thing I'd like to do is have a catalog made for the White House with a description and a history and of every piece and every room and who gave it, so that they can learn history. And to get a catalog, one must get a curator. We're working on that now. And he will be the historian of the White House. No one will give us beautiful pieces of furniture unless they know they're going to be cared for and treated as a museum.
Do you have to ask for an appropriation to get a curator?
No, we don't.
I was thinking if you did, you could probably do better at Congress than your husband.
No, the Smithsonian. We're so lucky in Washington to have all these wonderful museums who want to help. All you have to do is ask them, and they're going to make one available to us.
You've appointed a commission, haven't you, Mrs. Kennedy, to try and find furniture from the White House. Are they doing very much in this direction? Is it an easy task?
No, it's very hard, and we mustn't make a misstep. We haven't really started yet. We want so much to do it right. I'm so happy that the chairman of my commission is Mr. DuPont. For anyone who's seen Winter Tour will know that we're serious and what we hope to do. We don't really want to restrict it to any special period, because this house can't be a rigid museum. It's part of everyone who's lived in it is a part of it. So we just want to get the best things from all those times.
What kind of a house is the White House? What period does it fall into?
It's really an 18th century house. It was designed in 1792 by James Hoban, who was an Irishman, and he modeled it quite a lot on Leinster House in Dublin. So it is an 18th century house, but it has many things of later periods in it.
You mentioned before Theodore Roosevelt bringing an architect. Who was it?
Stamford White.
That was really the last first family that had small children of its own in the White House. Do you find the White House is a very good place to raise children? How has your life changed since you come here?
It is rather hard with children. There's so little privacy. I don't mind for myself, but I think it's very hard with them. For instance, I wanted to take my daughter to the circus last week, and I decided I just shouldn't because I would ruin it for her. I worked so hard to make her little ballet school a private thing that we could do together. And there were all the photographers waiting when we got there. So it's a little hard.
Well, do you really hope
When did you first get the word of the senator's nomination last night?
Well, I was watching television, so I suppose the same time everyone else did.
Did you think that he would get it on the first ballot?
I hoped he would, but I didn't know. He telephoned me before the balloting, then right after it, and then about 5:30 in the morning.
Do you have any vacation plans when he comes home?
Yes, we plan to take his vacation here until Congress goes into session. We hope to take it in our own house.
Is your baby due before Inauguration Day?
When's Inauguration Day?
What was the subject of conversation between you and the senator when he called? What were the first words?
Hello? Isn't it wonderful? Do you think so? Yes. Nothing that made very much sense. Just happy people.
I understand that at one time you were a roving photographer in Washington. Is that right?
That's right.
Does all of this bother you at all?
I'd rather be on that end of it than this, I think.
Have you ever been in the White House on a visit or when you were working in Washington?
Well, yes, I've been there every year. The Senate, Mrs. Eisenhower gives a lunch to the Senate ladies, the wives of the senators, so I've been there for lunch.
What do you think of the White House? Would it be a good place to set up housekeeping? Would it be workable as a home for a
Well, I think if it turned out that way, you'd have to make it so.
Do you want a boy or a girl, or does it make any difference?
Doesn't make any difference.
Do you have any names picked out?
No, I don't.
Is Caroline aware of what happened last night with Mrs. Kennedy?
No, she's really too little to be aware. She knows there's excitement, but she doesn't know why.
Did she stay up and watch television with you last night?
No.
Who's designed the dress that you're wearing? Sue?
I don't know. I just bought it. In a store?
The question just a moment ago was, where do you buy your clothes? May I ask you that?
I buy them here and there. I'm always traveling, so I never get it very well organized.
I see.
Just with luck.
Do you expect to meet the senator at the airport Sunday night?
I'd like to. Depends how many of you will be there.
You say that you won't be actively campaigning with the senator. Will you be helping him write speeches or anything like that?
No, but I think running a house around a man as busy as my husband is always a full-time job. And then I have my daughter. Then I'm sure that I won't have too much time on my hands.
As a father, would you call the senator a strict disciplinarian, or is Caroline discipline left to your child?
Well, he's strict, but he's very affectionate. as I try to be, too.
Do you see the role of the First Lady as a more active role these days than it has been for other presidents?
I think it depends very much on the First Lady. Everyone has to be themselves.
Mr. Kennedy, you're probably watching the vice presidential position at the moment. Who would you say, in your opinion, would be the likely running mate for the senator?
I haven't any idea, so tonight I think will be almost as suspenseful as last night.
Who do you like?
I like everyone.
And we'd like to thank you very much for being so gracious and talking to us this morning.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Is there anything you'd like to say before we close?
I'd like to thank you all for being so nice and considerate.
May I ask you one more thing? That's a beautiful necklace. I don't know whether it picks up on camera or not, but would you tell us what it is?
It's just gray stones, nothing very special.
Looks very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.